let some people trickle in and then we can go ahead and get started. Julia is going to monitor the chat, so if questions come up or anything like that, feel free to pop those in there. Whether it's chat or Q&A, I'm not sure, but if you have anything, feel free to throw those in there. And this is going to be our last learning lab of the year. So for those who maybe attended one or a few, thank you again for taking the time to do that. This was a first year initiative on customer engagement as a whole, let alone the Learning Lab series. So we really appreciate everybody who's taken the time to hop into, whether it's, like I said, one or a few of our sessions. It's been a big learning curve, and we're really appreciative of everybody's feedback and all the good and positive vibes that's been brought during the series. So this will be a relatively short session. We're going to do a quick little year in review, talking about some of the product news that we had, about some of our key products, some website updates that we saw with the TDS Health website. Julie is going to talk about some of the support initiatives that we did throughout the year, what we expect for 2025, and then we have a little special thanks raffle for one of you all. So I'm going to go ahead and start with some product news and the website updates. So we have a list on here that we put together of just a couple of the main updates that happened this year. Some of these may apply to you, all of them may apply to you, depending on the TDS Health products that you have access to. So we wanted to just do a quick run through for those who it may apply to, and then maybe those who are looking to expand and have been fielding some of these, but wanted to see what was coming before they made decisions. So first and foremost, some updates to Primal Pictures, which is our anatomy tool that we have. We had the addition of a real-time functional anatomy, which was that real-time virtual dissection model with the ability to move the material as you're doing that virtual dissecting. We also had the addition of an embryology module, which was very exciting, that has the same real-time component, but the ability to look at those different stages of embryology and dissect those through. You can look at different derivatives, so that's been really great for those who remember learning embryology with the claymation molds like I did. So and then lastly for Primal, our update is the anatomy tutorials for physical therapy. So if you are a subscriber to what is considered the medical learning outcomes, which is a collection of videos with lectures and then corresponding material, this is a very similar product, but applied for physical therapy, occupational therapy, athletic training, so more of that physical and motion focused study. So we took that same layout of having some video tutorials corresponding with different modules, so a student could go through, watch that lecture, look through the material, do a little bit of some quizzing and self-assessment, and kind of treat it like either a flipped classroom preparation tool, or faculty can even use it as a, okay, we've covered this, now complete this activity. So those were some of the major updates for Primal Pictures. Some of the standard updates for Primal every year is updating and looking at the models that they have. So whether that's new additional views, things like that. And then also updates to the interface. They do again have that mobile interface as well as a VR and AR component. Any questions on Primal Material specifically?
Jenna, we do have one question in the chat.
Sure.
Does this also include surgical tech content in Primal Pictures?
Oh, that's a really good question. So specifically, these three modules, I wouldn't say are very geared toward surgical tech specifically, but there is some content within Primal that I would say would be relevant to someone studying to become a surgical technologist or a practicing one. There are some more general viewing areas where you can go through and do some virtual dissections, and then also there's some imaging and things like that that might be relative. So if that's something you want to look at, we can send you an email after the fact and kind of point you in the direction of some of the modules that would best support that area. But good question. Um, the next one that I wanted to take a look at was Stat Pearls. And so for those who have utilized Stat Pearls, that is one of our learning systems that has a question bank component. We had some updates to the question banks, updates to questions, additions of banks. We also had some article additions. So a reminder for Stat Pearls is that one of the great features is those banks of questions correspond to actual peer-reviewed articles. And so you have that content to be able to learn back and forth, whether that's reading an article, taking a quiz questions, or quiz questions, then remembering and retaining with an article. So additions to both of those, and then also the addition of the ability to run usage reports for those who have the CME and the CE product. We do have some hospital systems who like to take a look and see who's actually using those when they provide it, or whether that's a practice, a hospital system, whoever you're providing your CME and CE to. We actually have some institutions who, for their faculty, provide that. So you do have the ability to run usage on those to see what's being utilized and which CE courses and activities are being done. Um, Third is Dickey, and that first area of curriculum matching program is only 3 words, but it's a pretty big component of this. So for those who have the Dickey product, which was previously known as Draw It to Know It, um, we have a curriculum matching program that Dr. Fish and his team create. And so what they do is, depending on the Dickey material you have, whether that's the entire package or anatomy and physiology, whichever area that you have in there, they will create some curriculum matching and mapping for you. And what that looks like is, if you're a Dickey subscriber and you're teaching a course and you're like, I want to see if this thing can support here, what can I use from this material to support my already built out syllabus and curriculum? They will meet with you to take a look at that curriculum that you have, and they'll put together a custom course for you. So if you've got Anatomy 201 and you've got the anatomy and physiology package, and you want to see what do we have in here that matches, they'll go ahead and do that for you. That way you can provide that to students. They can go through, whether that's again prior to class, after class, during class, however you like to deliver your material. So it takes that work off of you. So if we have Dickey subscribers on the call and you have not taken advantage of the curriculum matching program, I highly recommend you reach out to us so we can get you set up. For librarians who are on the call or administrators on the call who have Dickey subscriptions, feel free to market that to your faculty and to your group that they can utilize that. And we're happy to provide language and details on that to make that easier for you as well. The next group is that they have an Open Athens compatibility now. That was a project for a little bit. So for those who potentially would like to access via Open Athens specifically, that now can be looked at. And the last group is the lecture primers and algorithms. And this was an additional piece that Dr. Fish added to the collection of content within Dickey. And so how this works is, if you're familiar with the Dickey product, we've got flashcards, videos, drawing pads. There's a lot of different material in here. These lecture primers and algorithms are specific lectures led by Dr. Fish. He's in front of a whiteboard and he breaks down some of those core concepts that you need to understand the area that you're studying. So, for example, there's a lecture primer on the central nervous system and some of those areas that are key to know before you can learn anything else. And the reason that was done was to make sure that if you only had a certain amount of time, or if they're going to do a review or starting to use content, you can start with those primers and algorithms to really lean into that for students to have. So yeah, those were the additions to Dickey. Jules, has any questions come through? I just want to make sure, because you know me, I can talk a mile a minute.
Nope, all good. Thank you, Jenna.
Yeah, sure. And then the last 3 little details I have here. So for those who are utilizers of Board Vitals, similar with Stat Pearls, they did have some bank updates as well, updating questions, taking a look at those. And they did also add an enhanced learning quiz feature with their quiz function, which adds a little tool set to your quizzing model. So a little different from a standard quizzing, but has an additional tool set model as well, where they've got some additional material on there to help you study and learn a little bit more. Um, and those are the main updates with Board Vitals specifically. And last but certainly not least, StatRef, all of our StatRef users who are on here, if you have ebook collections, video collections, any material within the StatRef platform, we had some new titles added this year. We add new titles every year. We make updates and additions. If there is a certain topic area that you're really searching for, or areas of need of certain subjects that you've been looking for, please let us know. We're always trying to expand our StatRef collection to mirror what our clients need. We saw a huge uptick of people needing material on social determinants of health and DEI cases. So if those are things that you're needing and you are trying to find someone who's that you have content with that's trying to up theirs to make sure it aligns with you, let us know. We're always trying to get feedback as to what the good titles are that people would need. And lastly, before I lose my voice at the end of my cold, we wanted to take a look at our website. So you may have seen it on some email signatures. You may have seen some emails coming out about how we had a new website. And so there's a couple different areas in there that we can cover, but I really want to focus specifically on one for you all today. Um, with our website, when you first access, it will look something like this. It's still tetondata.com. Those pieces have not changed. But I really wanted to point out this what we offer tab here at the top. The very first portion is going to be our titles. And so that gives you a list of the titles that we have where you're able to sort by keyword, by discipline, by publisher. So again, if you're looking for certain ebooks to add in, this is a really easy way to go through and search through the content to see if we have something that works for what you need. So titles specifically, that has that search bar. Then it also breaks it down by different disciplines if you'd like to just go through and review and peruse some titles. The next section is products. And so this is going to be more of a focus on what we looked at today: Primal, Board Vitals, Stat Pearls, Dickey, things like that. We have the ability where you can search by solution type. So whether you're an academic program looking for CE, hospital, library specifically, you can peruse through those different areas to see what we have. Um, and then we also have breakdowns even further where you can go ahead and search similar to titles. So if you want to look for keywords, if you have different areas that you're looking to search for from a use case perspective, again, type of study, you can do all that searching on here as well to look through our products. And then lastly, and probably most important to Julia and I, being that we're in customer engagement, is the customer support area. And that really is like a standard customer support page, but I wanted to point out this browsing function as well. I've been sending this to quite a few clients who have been looking to either review some video lectures or review some handouts on how to do certain things. Um, this is always a great place to check, especially if you're a library trying to build out a LibGuide and have some support tools. You can again search by keywords, or specifically you can search by type. So whether it's an administrator help, a handout, help in Spanish, mobile apps, quick guides, all things like that, you can search through here. Or you can go ahead over here and you can pick your product. So let's say you're a Primal Pictures user, you can review through here all of the content that we have that relates to Primal, look for the modules that you have, and pull out material that you may need. So if anyone's in need of some material from a support perspective, I highly recommend checking out the new website, hopping into that support page and going through here. Um, just because we have a really great extensive support page does not mean that we are going to throw you to the wolves to only use our support stuff. And so I'll go ahead and use that as a segue to move over to Julia, who's going to talk about some of our support initiatives from this year and then what's to come. I'll go ahead and pop back over for you, Jules.
Thanks, Jenna. And we did have one question come through that was
Sure.
about accessing all of the other content that people have, if they're a Stat Pearls or Dickey subscriber, if any of that has changed with our website update. And the answer to that is no. All of our other content and all of our third-party products, along with your StatRev content, is all the same access. It's just a facelift for our website. So hopefully y'all can play around on there and
Yeah.
start to
If you do have any issues, like if you run into any access issues or anything, just let us know. But like Julia said, it was just a facelift outer look and everything should be the same for your access.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenna.
Mhm.
Yeah, so looking ahead at some of our, well, looking behind and then also looking ahead at some of our support initiatives for 2024 and kind of what's up ahead in the new year, which I can't believe we are almost out already. Um, I hope that some of you all have been able to attend some of our learning labs over this past year. We had quite a great turnout at all of our events, and we're so grateful for everyone who has been a part of this community over the last year. We are really so happy to be partnered with such an amazing group of people in this, in this area. So some of the learning labs that we had, just as a quick recap, were a DIT curriculum mapping session with Dr. Fish. So like Jenna mentioned, that has been a big initiative in 2024, is making sure that all of that DIT content is really matched with your institution's curriculum. So we had a whole session that covered that. We also looked at some different Primal Pictures best practices for librarians, StatPro's new user walkthrough. We had a TDS Health Resources for Foundational Knowledge session, as well as a Primal Pictures Clinical Insight session. So those were just kind of our most popular webinars that we hosted over 2024. And what you'll notice is that we really tried to tailor these webinars to all different types of audiences, whether you are a student, whether you're a librarian, whether you're a faculty member, we really have something in every one of these webinars for all those different types of audiences, and also with all of our different products. Um, if you're not a subscriber to one of these products, don't worry, you can always still attend a learning lab session into the new year if you see something that comes across your email that you're interested in. We try to make it pretty straightforward so that you can get a quick overview of the product, really learn how to use that in a specific way. And then, of course, Jenna and myself and the rest of our TDS Health team is always available to further explore and answer any questions that you might have after that learning lab session. Um, we also were able to provide quite a lot of different collateral resources at our customer engagement team over this past year. So in addition to all of the content that we have on our website, Jenna and I like to create custom video tutorials. If there's anything that you're not seeing within all of those different help guides that we have, and you just want a quick snippet to post on your website page or your library page, we're more than happy to assist with that. We also do quite a lot of email marketing, so assisting in promoting different webinars that we have, promoting the products that you all subscribe to, or any updates that you want to make sure your faculty, students, etc., are all aware of. Our team is happy to assist with that as well. In addition to those institution-wide training sessions that I just mentioned, we really are looking forward to continuing to do those and even ramping up that process in 2025. So if any of you all are interested in a 2025 kickoff session as your faculty come back in, or if you're already thinking ahead to planning for next fall, you want to think about your summer schedules, keep us in mind. We're more than happy to have that kind of session, sitting down with all of your faculty, really understanding either how they've been using the resource so far or how we can best implement the resource in their different types of curriculum and courses that they're working with. That's something that we really pride ourselves on doing at the customer engagement team. And then some other resources that we have are different social media graphics and library posters. So really the sky is the limit with what our team can do to help you. We had quite a lot of institutions as well, looking for some physical content to put up in their libraries or put up around their campuses, just to advertise our different products. So we can work with you on anything that you need in that regard. We can put some different QR codes on so students and faculty can just easily scan and then they'll have access to your resources. Um, our goal is really just to help you all as best as possible. And I hope we've been able to do that in 2024. And we look forward to continuing that in 2025. Um, One kind of sneak peek for 2025 that we are working on is more engagement with your students directly. So, if you have any students that have already been a large champion of one of the products that you subscribe to, please keep them in mind. You're welcome to pass their contact information along to us or connect us with them. If they're interested, we're working on some exciting programs to hopefully involve your students some more, give them some reward in return, and just make a great program for everyone involved. So that is one exciting thing that is on the docket for next year. So, and in conclusion, we wanted to say thank you to everyone. We really appreciate how much you all have done for us, and hopefully how much we have been able to support you over this last year. It has been our absolute pleasure working with such an amazing group of individuals and institutions, and we've definitely learned a ton from all of you. So we look forward to just continuing that in 2025. Um, and thank you all so much. But please don't leave yet because we are going to choose our winner for our giveaway. We have a $50 Amazon gift card, and I have a nice little wheel here that I'm going to spin that is going to randomly choose a name. And I have Catherine Minsa. Congratulations. You have won our giveaway for today. So we will be in touch with you over email to send that out to you. Um, so thanks so much, everyone. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank Jules. I was answering a question in the chat just because it looks like there was a little bit of a help desk need in there. So sorry that I went silent for you for the big reveal. Um, are there any questions before we wrap up the session? Congratulations again to our winner, but is there anything that anybody needs before we hop off? Feedback, questions, comments, concerns, favorite color, anything like that? Perfect.
Thank you, Catherine.
Green, thank you. Well, again, you all have mine and Julia's contact information, and we will be sending a follow-up to attendees of just some of the material that we covered today. Thanks again for taking the time to hang out with us on a Friday, and have a great rest of the year. We look forward to seeing all of you in the new year. Bye,
Thank you.
all.
Take care and have a nice weekend. Bye.